Oh, there we go. And yeah, we'll go right to, is there any conflicts of interest?
No.
None, okay. So now I guess we'll just go to 12, other business. So we have Belinda's presented us with two budgets. There's sample 1 and sample number 2. So I think we'll just go around, and if anyone has anything to say or any thoughts on which way we should go, or any questions for the CEO, I'll just open her up.
Okay. What's the difference between the 3.19 and the other one? The only thing I can see different is the sweeper for the truck.
That's the only difference. Yeah.
I printed that all out.
I know.
I went through page
I
by
meant,
page. There's only one thing different.
I was just trying to show the difference, that just that type of expense removed would change the tax rate. I just wanted to say, I hope it's okay, Mr. Mayor. I just had just one little thing I'd like to clarify on the budgets.
Yeah, go for it.
So the sample 1, like Councillor McDonald just asked, includes the Public Works Capital Sweeper. The department head had requested that to be included as part of the budget. My recommendation, however, though, is to not go with that expense due to the fact that we just contracted it out this year to T-Bell, and it was $1,600, and they did the whole town. And so I feel it's pretty reasonable, and they're also paying for the time to do it, the gas and the equipment, and any equipment malfunctions, they're taking care of that. So perhaps if we did want to go with sample 1, my recommendation would be to put that money into a reserve for equipment, since the rest of our fleet is getting quite old. So that's just a clarification on that.
Okay, yeah, Councillor Gingras.
Yes, hello, Mr. Mayor. I just, sorry, through you, Mr. Chair, Belinda, what was the amount that T-Bell charged us?
It was 1,600.
1,600?
Yeah,
Oh,
1,600. Yeah.
Okay.
And we only do that once a year, and it's pretty reasonable.
It is pretty reasonable. And having said that, Mr. Chair, I support draft sample number 2.
Okay.
I also feel that we are in an election year, and I don't like to spend money with a new council coming in. I prefer to keep the budget as low as possible, and 0.78 is just fine with me. Thank you.
Councillor Despatie.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I'm going to be contrary here. Any good financial advisor will tell you before they start, you should have 6 to 12 months of reserve in case something happens. Okay, that's for a couple or a working person. Our town is in pretty decent financial position, but we got no money. If anything happens tomorrow that we need a chunk of money, we're dead in the water. We're going to be scrambling. We're going to keep, keeping budgets at 0% increase or very low increases is very nice. Jim Gordon back in the 90s was elected 3 times with a 0% increase promise. And he kept that promise pretty steadfast. And after his terms, the city of Sudbury was in a mess. And I would suggest we're probably, or because I'm not a taxpayer in Sudbury anymore, but the people in Sudbury are still paying for his short-sightedness. So I'm going to say we should go with 3.9. It's well under the inflation rate. And we can start putting money aside for a rainy day. Because we're going to get them. Everything we own is old. It's bound to break. So let's start looking forward instead of always trying to pull our butts behind. That's my opinion. I've been in business for a long time. And cutting corners and pinching pennies has never served me in any way, shape, or form. So I don't like to do it. You know? That's my opinion.
Yeah.
If the taxpayers don't like that they have to pay an extra couple percent, okay, you can send them to me. I've been in Nairn for 17 years. I pay close to $3,000 in taxes. And you know what I get from my taxes? I got, last summer, 911 markers to indicate my address for ambulance and police. And never once did any of you hear me crying about property taxes. Property taxes is like any other tax. It creates and maintains a civilized society. Okay? And I'm happy to pay the taxes, and I'll be happy to pay a 3.19 increase for this year. Although I get zero services from the town of Nairn. Zero.
Councillor McDonald.
Okay, I agree with you 100%. But I agree with the 3.19, but not with the sweeper on it. If you want to put another, Derek wants to put another more road work done on it, fine. But I agree
Or
with
reserve? Are you okay with the reserve?
you put money in reserves. Because you're talking my language, because that's why I've been fighting for more reserves, you know, like more roads fixed up. Like this year here, Sand Bay, there's nothing, no capital roads spending at all in Sand Bay. In Hyman, nothing at all in there and here, but I mean, and they're complaining to me that they need roads graded, and they said Derek, I shouldn't, nobody's here, so they said Derek said he wasn't going to grade it this year, nothing. So he's filling potholes on Sandy Road, but they said he's not doing it right now. I don't know if he's doing it right or he's not doing it right, but they said he filling it up and then run over with a tractor, but that's not packing it down. They said they're supposed to be packed down there. But anyway, that's but I agree with you, but I don't agree with the standard. If you want to read, Derek wants to put a set of road, more road work at Sand Bay. They got Cold Dock Road there. I don't know if you know the area. Cold Dock Road needs to be paved. And the rest of Sand Bay, there's at least a kilometer, maybe 2 kilometers, got to be hard top or chunks. He should be doing one of those. Or both, you know, but I mean, when I saw that there for Sander, 22,000 brings it from 0.
It would take us 10 years to pay that back, which is not real.
I figured it out for $2,000 a year, 10 years to pay it back.
It's
and
not
then it'd be
realistic.
more of
It should be
And then the
paid
wear and
back in
tear-
3 to 5 years.
wear and tear of the truck and our wages that drive the truck.
Yeah.
It just don't make sense at all. I mean,
Yeah.
So if we can come up with, if Derek can come up with something 3.9, you know, I agree with it. If you want to fix the road, but not the sander, not the sweeper.
Good. Hey, Ron and I agree.
Yeah,
All right.
just a reminder, there was a lot of capital work done at Sand Bay the last 3 years, so there obviously needs to be some repairs done by the sounds of it, and we'll look into that, but we did replace all the gravel out there as well last year.
Yeah, but we did a lot in there too, so. The
Yeah.
old Nairn Road there's $2.5 million right there we're spending on. And then the Charles Street, we spent over 500,000 there. Smith Street, we spent over 300,000 there. So you can't compare Hyman to us. We're both spending money.
Mhm.
And we're both taxpayers, same as he should get some more service. I don't know how we can give him more service, but I mean, we gotta look after our taxpayers. That's what we're here for. And we're here to look after the money, and he's right. I thought this a long time, that anything very major happen in town, we're screwed. You know, we might have $100,000 here, a little bit there. It's gone in no time. Water chief plan to take that in one little spurt.
Yeah.
Okay, I kind of agree. I agree with him. I'm glad he's on board with this. Bigger than you wouldn't have to run.
No, I just found it
You're listening, eh? No, I never hear taxpayers complain about taxes in there.
I never have either, but,
I talked to a lot, I went to Winkle there today, I got an earful, but anyway. They're upset.
Okay.
He said, Derek said that, told one taxpayer up there that he wasn't gonna grade the roads, he wasn't gonna do nothing up there. And I said, well, he's not lying. I said, I saw the budget, there's nothing up there, capital.
well, I live on a gravel road and it's gotta be graded at least a couple times a year. So if Derek has no plans, you should make him plans to grade that. If you don't mind.
Yeah, no, yeah, I agree with you. You know, a little bit of grading now makes a big difference up
Oh,
there.
yeah.
And if the hard top, and you get rid of the grader altogether.
Okay. Well, is there any other comments then? Or do we want anything changed? Do I just have some blank motions or have if we want anything changed? I think taxes in Nairn have historically stayed low. And I think it's time, I agree with Guy and Rod. I think it's time to move something up and start saving. And I mean, everything's going up in price right now. So with the cost of living and with the cost of doing business as a township, we're going to need some cash to do business, right? Kind of like what Guy was saying. So I'm comfortable with the 3% increase, and then not having the sweepers as well. I think we should, yeah, just put that money into the public works reserves or into other reserves, because our equipment within public works is getting old too. So I think you're right, Guy. I think we do need to put some money away, and you never know, that rainy day could come tomorrow, right? So.
Yep.
Yeah, what I'm saying too, that, you know, like reserves, like when you said you could put it other places, that comes from the roads, so it should go into roads. Because
Mhm.
roads, the reserved roads, because it's always low, sometimes nothing in it. So, and then, you know, the water treatment plant, it should go to water, and recreation should go to recreation. You know, we just throw it around and put it where we're thinking we need it, but that 22,000 should go reserves for public works. And
Mhm.
like you said, there's gonna be new equipment coming pretty soon.
Okay,
Spend a lot.
Councillor Gingras, do you have anything to say?
Yes, if council supports 3% without the sweeper, I would support that.
Okay. And there's not a motion to support that tonight. We'll officially pass it at the start of our next council meeting, but this is just to review it. So we just have a motion that a public meeting will be held at a blank date, which will probably be our next week's meeting. So we can, well, I'll pass that after we can, but now we can talk about 12B, review of the 2022 waterworks budget, if there's any conversation around that, or if maybe the CEO wants to clarify some things, or yeah.
Sorry, could I just get clarification on which reserve the 22,000 are going to? Is it roads or road equipment? There's two.
Well, in roads, and then we can move it around if we had.
Okay.
Because roads.
I should.
You're not on township road, are you?
I'm on a private road.
Oh, private.
Should I pass the motion? So I have the motion here that says that council requests that the following changes be made to budget sample number 1, and then say that the result that council requests the following changes be made to the draft 2022 municipal budget sample number 1, and so just 22,000, or what, it was it 22,000?
Pretty sure it was.
Yes.
That-
you're correct.
Okay. The 22,000 allocated for street sweeper. Put in the roads reserve or the roads and equipment reserve?
Roads, I think
Roads is fine.
Just roads? I think roads and equipment is better.
roads and equipment. I mean, they just one or the other.
There's two reserves. There's
Yeah,
one that's
road-
just roads and then there's road equipment.
Yeah, well, this time we'll put in roads, I would think.
Road equipment, but anyway, it doesn't matter. We can move it if we want.
Okay, so can I get Councillor McDonald to move that and Councillor Despatie a second?
Absolutely, yes.
Moved by Councillor McDonald, second by Councillor Despatie. Resolved that council requests the following changes be made to draft 2022 municipal budget sample number 1. The $22,000 allocated for street sweeper be put into roads reserve. All in favor? Carried. Okay, there we go. So now I guess I will open it up for 12B, the waterworks budget. If there's any comments on that, or if the CEO had some clarification.
I wouldn't mind just making some clarification.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, go ahead.
So before you, there's 3 different budgets for waterworks. So the first one's 0. The second one's a 2% increase, and the third one is a 5% increase.
Where do you get that? Oh, on a computer, is it?
Yeah, that was sent part of the package.
Oh, I just print.
Oh, okay.
I don't even look at that.
Well, I can explain it, no problem. So historically, we haven't changed water rates very often, maybe every 3 to 4 years. So our last increase was in 2018. We did a 2% increase. So as been noted, costs have been rising year after year. And last year we actually ran a deficit for waterworks of about $1,100. So as we're all aware, the waterworks is revenue neutral and it is self-sufficient from revenues. So we don't tax for anything to do with the water. So if there's repairs, capital, it's always been pulled out of reserves. And as we're running deficits, it's not getting put back. So it's my recommendation that we either go with at least a 2% but my recommendation is a 5%. The difference between the two, if I can just point that out. So instead of $73.28 a month, it's a 2% increase, it would be $74.75 a month. And then a 5% increase would bump it up to $76.94 a month. That's for residential water rates. But the difference is we leave it at 0. We're not putting any money back into the water reserve. If we go at 2% with the estimated budget, it would put approximately $3,700 back into reserves. That's for 2%. And then if we went up to a 5%, it would put back $6,700 back into reserves. But we have to remember, we're pulling out of reserves for capital work every year. Last year, it wasn't too bad. It was approximately $4,000 that we had to do in capital work last year. But this year, if we go forward with the ICIP green fund that we received for the renovation or rehabilitation, excuse me, of the waterworks, the 25% that is our share will have to come out of reserves. So we have to start planning to put that back. So this year we're going to phase it. We're estimating that the rehabilitation phase 1 will cost $98,000. So our percent would be, sorry, have that right in front of me, would be $26,136 that we pull out of reserves for our share of that part of the project for this year. Next year, it's going to be bigger because it's the big portion of the project will be next year or the year after, depending on how council wants me to phase it. So we just have to remember that we're always pulling for reserves if we don't increase rates. So that's my recommendation, is to go with the 5% increase.
Yeah, I agree with you there, but because of the water rate, it was 100,000 one year and down to 80,000, then 2 or 3 years it was down to nothing.
Yeah.
So I agree with the 5%. And now you said here that green stream there, it says here engineering and low lift pump replacement.
That was phase 1 that we've want to move forward with in this year.
Yeah. And
Next year will be the HVAC and sorry, I lost what it's called. Basically air circulation. So that has to be engineered. So we'll work on the engineering for that this year, get the tender ready to go out. And next year will be the big part of the project, the air ventilation system.
Okay, so that 98,000 we're coming out of the reserve 26,000.
It's 26 is our share, yes. You're
Okay.
correct.
Okay, I agree with that.
Okay.
Any other comments? Oh, Councillor Shingra?
I am, Mr. Chair. I completely agree with the CAO's recommendation on this. I was not very happy to run a deficit in that department. We shouldn't, and she's right, it's revenue neutral, so running a deficit isn't good. So I'll go with the CAO's recommendation of 5% increase.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else? Anyone else? Councillor?
It's all been said, Mr. Mayor.
Okay.
I agree with it. I agree with it.
Okay. Perfect. So Councillor Shingra, can I get a first on that?
Yes.
Councillor McDonald, a second?
Yes.
Moved by Councillor Shingra, second by Councillor McDonald, resolved that council requests that the draft 2022 Nairn Waterworks budget, which includes a 5% increase, be included in the 2022 municipal budget. All in favor? And that carries. Okay, so now all we have to do is just have a motion here that we will be holding a public meeting on June. That would be the 13th
That's correct.
at 7 p.m. So I'll just, so Councillor Despatie first
Yes.
and Councillor Shingra a second.
Yes.
Moved by Councillor Despatie, second by Councillor Shingra, whereas council has reviewed the draft 2022 municipal budget and further be it resolved that a public meeting be held on June 13th, 2022 at 7 p.m. to present and adopt the 2022 municipal budget. All in favor? Carried. And for the conformatory bylaw, Councillor McDonald the first,
Yes.
Councillor Shingra a second.
Yes.
Moved by Councillor McDonald, second by Councillor Shingra, that being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Nairn and Hyman be read a first, second, and third time, and finally passed in open council, and its number shall be 2022-11. All in favor? Carried. And this is to close it out. Is there any final words before we have our closing motion?
What's the
Yeah.
motion for? We're not going to discuss no more of the budget. I thought this was a budget meeting.
Okay, then discuss. Yeah, discuss. We had.
I knew this was too easy.
Well, that's what I thought. It was a budget meeting. You discussed the whole budget.
Well, go for it. Yeah, that was for under 12A review of the municipal budget. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah, well, you said you're closing it out now.
We were, but if you have questions.
But if you have more, go for it. Yeah.
Okay, now I gotta get on track here. So the gas tax, federal gas tax, that's going to roads this year. Where did I see that? I saw gas tax someplace.
Yeah, you're correct. It's going towards the engineering for.
McDonald's.
Street.
So we have to pay a little bit above that, or they might have to pay.
I think it's gonna cover the full cost of the engineering. That's what our estimate is.
Now that Trillium Foundation, they're paying for the rink netting,
Yes, they've already paid for it, yeah.
right? They were. I'll just skip.
Sorry,
through.
Mr. Mayor, I was just answering.
Oh, yeah, all good. Go for it. Yeah, no problem.
New mayor, Mr. Chair.
On general. Filing cabinets. How many filing cabinets you need now? We spent over 4,000, 5,000 a couple of years ago. Now you want another one, 1,500. Are they outdated or what's the reason? for it?
Can I reply, Mr. Chair?
Yeah, go
Oh.
ahead.
I thought I was thinking, I can't not use that TV.
That's okay.
You still have to talk through the chair, Counselor.
Okay,
Okay, yes, our filing cabinets were grossly outdated. They didn't work. The drawers are falling apart. So yes, I have spent a lot of money on filing cabinets. I purchased 2 fire resistant ones for our bylaws 2 years ago. And last year I replaced 2 more that were just regular filing cabinets, and we have 2 more left, and then we're done. So,
no, I just wondered,
yeah, no worries. I'm happy to show you the broken filing cabinets.
where the old ones were dumped.
The fire department took one, the
Oh.
building department took another one,
Oh.
and then the rest went to the dump, yes.
Okay. I'll just go through here. I thought we were going to go a little different. Member of council, I think we're overpaid. Compared to other communities, we're way overpaid.
Well, I'm gonna look into that,
Yeah, I wish,
because I don't believe it.
you don't believe that?
I don't believe that.
Well, I know Gore Bay is a lot bigger than Nairn, and they're less than us. The mayor, and there's 6 councilors there. And they got a 25% raise this year. And it's gonna bring them up to what we were in 2015.
So they know they're behind.
Yeah, they know they're behind,
Okay.
so they're bringing it up.
So us falling back is only gonna help, or no one actually, because everybody else gonna keep going up except Gore Bay and us. So,
No, I don't mind getting paid, but, we gotta be reasonable for a small town like this.
Yeah.
Now, the fire department, he's doing some work there, so. Quite happy with that. Now, on fire department, they're still paying for that truck here, $30,000 a year, so. Derek is done paying for that plow truck. And that's what that 22,000, I think every year we should be putting 25,000 in reserved for a new truck when he needs one, it'd be there.
I agree.
There.
I agree.
Because that, he was paying 30,000 a year to pay it off.
Mhm.
Now, by the time he needed the new truck, he might have enough money to pay for it.
Yeah.
So I agree with continue putting 30,000. He didn't put nothing down here this year, but for Derek did, but he should put that in reserves, my opinion. Continue putting 30,000 away for it.
Yeah,
So on a new truck, because that truck's getting pretty, couple of years now.
it's needed a lot
I
of
think it's
repairs, you're correct.
2014. It should last a lot longer now. But
It
yeah,
should.
I think it was 2013, 14, we got that. I'm just going over it quickly. Is anybody else have anything with that? I was the only one, I come prepared to go over every.
I like being a counselor when you run, because you sweat all the small stuff, and I don't have to worry about it. So that's good. I'm happy.
Okay. And I still think maintaining that generator out there, $1,500, $2,000 a year is a lot of money. They come twice a year to change the filter,
No, they actually, I question them on that because I agree. It's an exorbitant amount of money to just perform maintenance. But I watched them this year and they ran it for an hour and we're constantly checking the output and, doing all the maintenance to it. So yes, it is very expensive, but it's also an extremely important part of our emergency management plan is to have that. So this, no matter what, is gonna keep people safe, this area. So it is important, but I understand it, the concern with the cost.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought, you know, like, I changed my own filter and that, but now, like you said, listen to what you said, that they go through all these tests to make sure it's ready.
Yeah, and they bring everything up power wise, they turn everything on and see how it performs. So it
And it
is
works pretty
important.
good when the power goes off, like the other day, you had power in the office and everything.
That, yeah, we didn't even notice that it barely flickered.
Okay. Now, I'll just skip through here. I got highlights. I won't go into too much detail. Okay. This is it, the roads that were, he got a line there where reserves. He got the line there for Sand Bay upgrade, nothing, Sand Bay, nothing, you know, and then there, and he tells them that, and I said, well, he's not lying, because I said, I got the budget. He's right, he's not spending no money up there. So I don't know if you're gonna get phone calls or not, but I said, it's out of my hands. I said, I vote on the, when the budget goes up, I vote on it. I said, if I'm not happy with it, I might vote no, but I mean,
Mhm.
he very predictable up there with those people. I think. Down here, you don't seem to have too much problems, but up there, he has lots of problems. Now, I don't blame him all the time, you know, actor, but he works for the public. He's a public, I mean, he got to learn to respect people. And I get reports lots of times, his wording is not good at all. Anyway, I just thought, I keep throwing it in there, but he don't change.
Can I make a?
Yeah, Counselor.
I don't know how he is for dealing with the public, but I gotta come back to this gravel road issue. If he's not grading the gravel road at least twice a year, I think that's a problem for my taxpayers, whether they be in Hyman or Nairn. Because I know I live on a gravel road, and if you don't grade it, it just goes to pot. So,
Can I just add something in?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just a reminder though, Rod, that for road maintenance for Hyman, he's budgeted $8,000. So
Yeah, I
you're
saw.
looking at capital, so that capital is putting asphalt down or new aggregate on the road. So he has budgeted for maintenance. So
Yes, I know that.
okay, so I
But
just
he
wanted to
also-
clarify that.
He also told the taxpayer he wasn't doing nothing, no grading, no nothing up there. So he's filling potholes on the Sand Bay Road, the stone chip thing there.
Yeah.
But they don't feel like he's doing a good job. And they would like to see those roads, two roads, hard covered, stone chip, they call it. So I said, I just mentioned it to them, but they were upset that when Derek tells them, I don't know why Derek would tell them that
Yeah.
he wasn't doing nothing up there.
No, I agree.
Because you don't have to talk to them, you could just say,
Call the-
refer to the office,
Yeah.
And so that's, he's your employee, not my employee. But, he hasn't changed much, I don't think, but the wording I got it. Now, Nairn water, I already discussed that. I'll just go through this quickly. Land animals, they're always about the same, can't remember what they're meant. Recreation. That woman's doing a real good job at it. But Amy Maisie there. God, I don't know how she must have patience with fighting it all night. Now, the community center is putting new lights out. The office put new lights out, that's $4,000. And then 2,000 for electrician, is that what, from the cost was 6,000?
Through you, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm talking to you again.
Uh, We got the last quote in, it was approximately $4,200 for both. So, all the light fixtures have to be changed and all required. So that's why they're not working. And it's actually coming tomorrow, so. to
Well,
start.
we're
Yeah.
not complaining. We need
No, it's an important safety concern that's been ongoing, and that's, I guess, the only way we're gonna get this.
Yeah, that's what I just thought about doing. You had some of your budget.
Yeah.
then
It's
community
because the
center had some of
community
their budget.
center and the office run separate budgets,
Yeah.
and we're fixing everything. so-
Yeah, and then when I saw Derek's budget, he puts in there, he's gonna hire an electrician. So just don't make sense. I think you should just say get one job. It's a job number to it, do it all at once,
Yeah.
you know, all in one thing there, but I had to go back and forth. I said, oh, you've already got lights someplace for, and I had to go back. Now, the building inspector, now, last year we made pretty good money
We
on
did.
building permits, so. Because I like to keep that a little closer, yeah, other than, that must have been the mill or the dam down here,
It's Conspec, that was the big,
whole concept.
was the big.
They're built, now that's something now. They said they weren't gonna have no buildings there. Now there's buildings there. Are they gonna be paying tax on that? Do you know?
Of
Did they get
course.
building permits and everything? That you
Of
said?
course, yeah. Yeah, we're in, they've gotten building permits. We're completing the site plan agreement with them so that they have proper signage, lights, fencing, roadways, gates. So we're in the midst of that. It's going very slowly, but
It's coming.
it's coming.
Yeah, no, I had a taxpayer said, because they said they weren't gonna cut any trees down. Well, I went back there and they cut a lot of trees down.
Yeah,
They only
ran-
need
they
2
ran a
acres.
Hydro line and they ran another road parallel to the highway.
Oh, you should go back there.
Oh, I've been there.
Oh,
I've been there.
oh my God. You know, I thought they just gonna have trailers in there. They only had 2 acres, they said.
That was the original plan.
Yeah. Well, why didn't they come back to council with a different plan if they're gonna?
Well, they had that plan, the proposed plan, which council approved, and the zoning.
Yeah,
And the zoning, when we looked at it with them, when they came back to us saying, we have a different plan, that the zoning allowed it. So it didn't need to come back to council. And it's beneficial because there's an actual buildings gonna be there that are taxable and much more heightened security. It's hard to secure a trailer than a warehouse.
Yeah.
Warehouse is much more secure. It'll have, proper gates, doors, security systems, whereas the proposed trailers, I think they realized that they were gonna be a security issue.
I disagree with you that the council should know about it. I don't like taxpayers telling me something that I don't know. You know, and when they telling me what's going on out there and I couldn't tell them. You know, I think council, as a counselor, when those changes should be made, I know different times that people ask me something, I said, well, I don't know. You know, I'll just give you one example. They said, how come you fired somebody? I said, we didn't fire nobody. Well, that's one of Derek's, went part-time, eh? And but I mean, I felt bad because I didn't know what was going on. And they said, well, they already hired somebody. And I didn't know nothing about it. You don't have to go to the council, but it'd be nice to know, a counselor, it'd be nice to know what's going on. I think it's your job that if it don't come to council, we should know what's going on in this town. When we don't, when we set up for Conspec for that, no buildings, and then when buildings there, councilors should know. You know, we're council, we run this town. You know, and we-
Counselor, we're talking about the budget right now, aren't we? This is not budget meeting stuff.
Okay, well, it's sort of, because we're talking about the costs. And we're losing money someplace along the line. Okay, well, I'll put it on the agenda then.
Okay,
Okay, since we're not gonna do much tonight, I'll let it go back. I thought we'd have a budget meeting, now a budget, meeting, like the old time.
I said that you were more than welcome to go through it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm all by myself, so I thought we'd go through page per page like we do. We used to do, like Brigida, she knows, you know, and it wouldn't be long. It'd just be quick. We only spent a couple hours on it, but I mean, at least we know what's going on and everything. But I'll do my own homework.
Okay. Is there any other comments? Okay, so then I'll ask Councillor Gingras, can you move the closing?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And Councillor Despatie, a second?
Yes.
Moved by Councillor Gingras, second by Councillor Despatie, that the special council meeting of June 7th do now adjourn at 7:40. And to meet again on the 13th day of June 2022 or at the call of the mayor. All in favor? And that carries.
Thank you, Fred. Thank you, Belinda.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys.
Yeah, great
That was
job.
a,
Great job, Belinda, on that.
that was a
Thank you.
really good budget meeting.